take it a little slower. Wake up, right? On the
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Episode 15, middle of season 4. The Shield, Mad Men, The Sopranos. I'm loving life. I'm telling you. You know, when you've been with a bad person, like a bad ex, makes you appreciate when you don't have that bad ex anymore, because you have 3 good shows week in, week out that I'm enjoying myself thoroughly. And again, you guys have seen some of this shit. I have not. So for me to just be like, clicking in, great times.
Are you nervous that one of them's going to fall off a cliff at some point?
Yes. Because I trust issues, because I have the bad ex before. I'm going to walk outside, my tires will be slashed, my windows will be broke, my social security number will be hacked. These are problems that never really happen to me in real life, but I've heard horror stories. So that's what I'm concerned about right now. All 3 shows are every time they're like, oh, you're fine. I won't hurt you like the last one. I'm just waiting for that knife to go right in the fucking back. So we'll see. I have confirmation from Matt that the Shield ends well. I've heard horror stories of how the Sopranos ends. But I knew that
ends in conversation.
But I knew that going in. So I'm not going to be too surprised if that happened. If Mad Men hurts me, I may stop doing the show. That's disgusting that you're even giving me that thought.
I'll be curious what you think
Mark's
of
always said Pete's going to redeem himself at some point, so...
Let me tell you, it isn't this episode. Yeah, but we're here. Having a great time. Popular stances that I've switched on. No longer a Betty person. Last week.
I've loved watching you defend Betty the first few seasons. Just waiting.
That is, when we keep scores, Mark has lost so many points. It's crazy to me. He gets a point in this category when he's like, there's something that Betty, and I think I used the quote, nothing January Jones will be able to do will make me dislike her. Took one slap to a child where I'm just like, you know what? This bitch crazy. I'm done with her. And I don't like her little pussy boyfriend either. But that's the point. We'll get there. Mark, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
Yeah, this was a much anticipated week for me, because I could not wait to get to a particular point in one of these shows. Finally got there, and we'll say I don't know if any of you guys keep track, but we are officially at about the halfway point for all the shows now. So about halfway there.
Which will be soon. Well, we will be announcing what we will be doing right after this, because we don't take breaks here. Right? We take breaks, but they're at the end of the year. We got time to do. We have TV shows to watch. There will be season 2, part 2 after this, and it's bigger than what we did last year. I want to say that on the record. We went small last year. We're going bigger. So, going to be fun. We'll announce that soon. Matt, how are you? Got the hardest job in this entire thing. You got to do the Shield every week, which is the most chaotic, most fucked up show possible. And I'm doing a show about mobsters. So, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
I'm doing good. I have found myself, I'm starting to write less and less about certain characters, and they're somewhat non-existent storylines. So Danny and Julian might not get talked about a whole lot this week, but yeah, it's good stuff. I think one of these shows, I think we had the highest rated episode, at least according to IMDb, for it this week. So that's going to be good to talk about. And but Cody, you got to do the heavy lifting this week, because you got 4 Sopranos that you had to get through.
Yeah, and let me tell you, They fail in comparison. Not that I had a bad time. They're just The Shield's best episode was this week's, up to date. I don't remember a better episode than that. Probably some close, but that's by far the best. And Mad Men somehow decided to do a 7th episode, I think it was, that is on par with their season finale of last year. So, like, season 3. So that's crazy. But we'll get to there. Not to peek behind the curtain, but that was Mark's episode that I was talking about.
He wasn't talking about Pio Mummy.
Okay, no, he loves fucking Pio Mai. Like, he's sitting there just waiting for that fucking doctor to call about the fucking needing money. Jesus Christ.
I don't hate Pio.
Somebody needs to. We'll get to that, but somebody needs to explain something to me. I'm really fucking confused. But we'll kick it off. We'll pass the baton. We'll all talk about it. And then, yeah. I expect when you get to the part to do the impression that, you know. All right.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to start episode 4. We're in the doghouse. So we start out, Aceveda is kind of talking with another city council member about the seizure policies, and he doesn't really think they're all that good for the community. And then he has a nice conversation with who we find out is a call girl, so that they have a nice little talk, and she kind of gives him her card. And we find out that later on he ends up using some police computer records to get her actual phone number, her home phone, and he gives her a call, and they set up a little date so that they're going to kind of set future dates up. And Aceveda gets a little rough with her, so she kind of figures out what kind of dates these are going to be, so she kind of lays the ground rules for him, and that's kind of that for this week with him.
No bruising. No choking. Choking's fine. Jesus Christ, Aceveda. Seizure policies are hurting everything. Seizure policies are real bad. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go get a prostitute.
Okay. I mean, his wife told him to work through it, do whatever he needed to do.
I was going to say, I feel like we can blame the wife here.
I mean, yes, you definitely can blame the wife.
Like, I think this is all her fault.
Arguably one of the worst. If we had how many seasons we do of the show, I don't know if there'll be a wife that will rank worse than her. She is like, no, like, let's get therapy, let's work through this together. No, like, figure your shit out, man. Like, I know you got raped, but it felt like I got raped too.
Makes Betty look like Mother Teresa.
Well, she was in the 60s. That was a weird time, you know? This woman has technology.
You could just slap random kids when they're running around.
Back then, anything was a ball.
Oh, yeah. So we got Dutch meeting up with the ADA, and she's already calling in the favor. It's only been like one episode. She wants Dutch and Claudette to bring in a drug dealer, which Claudette is like, that's kind of beneath us. Well, why are we doing that? And then the more they dig into this case, they realize that it really is definitely beneath them, and it's a waste of their time. This guy's got like 3 pot plants in his place, and he's giving weed to like the people in the community, especially the older people that might have some pain or stuff and really need the stuff. But they end up having to, Claudia goes undercover, and they get him and bring him into the barn. And that's when the ADA kind of reveals that this guy is going to be testifying for the defense in an upcoming case. So she wanted to use Dutch and Claudette to kind of muddle the witness a little bit, make it so he's not maybe as reliable. So that's kind of why they had him arrested for his 3 pot plants. And this doesn't sit well with Claudette. But hey, I guess they're kind of off the shit list with the ADA now. Then we have Monica calls Vic to the scene of a rape. The rapist, Oscar, he escaped from a court hearing. and they play an
Must have
audio.
Oz transportation.
They play an audio of the answering machine where he made the victim call her spouse, talking about how the rapist was like the best she's ever had and stuff. And the moment Vic hears that, he's like gonna go all in on getting this guy. That just flips his good guy switch that he needs to go and do justice. So Dutch and Claudette fill in Monica and Vic all about Oscar's criminal history, but Monica tells them that Vic doesn't need their help on this one. Vic is a few steps behind the rapist. I think we find that he raped another person, and that's when Monica suggests he gets a little creative, which telling Vic to get creative is not probably the best course of action. So he goes to one of the gangs and tells him, hey, I need you guys to help me find this guy. He's messing with our community. And the gang immediately pretty much just goes and just finds this random guy and attacks him and starts beating him. This Asian guy who looks nothing like the person we're going after. Let's see.
I love it's very, I think in the very next part was when like Glenn Close's character is like, you hired a gang to do you put them on payroll?
You told me to get creative. Like I told you to talk to Dutch. Did you talk to Dutch yet? No. So Vic has to go talk to Dutch and kind of get some of the inner thinkings of a rapist, since Dutch is really all in on that stuff. He's dialed in to the rapist mentality. So he tells Vic, find out what he likes to do other than raping, and that might be a good way to track the guy down. So Vic goes
what
and
do you
talks.
like to do besides rape?
Yeah.
I play checkers. Sometimes go for walks.
What an icebreaker.
Dutch is like, this guy knows we're gonna catch him, so he's just gonna go out there and rape as many people as he's gonna binge rape as many people as he can till we do catch him and put him back in jail. But so Vic goes and talks to the guy's roommate, and he tells him about the rapist's favorite restaurant that he gets all his meals from. So Vic, they go down there and check out the restaurant, and find out that the rapist has already picked his next victim, the waitress there. They go out to her car, and her registration is missing and stuff. So they go to her house, and what do you know? They find the rapist there. He runs out the window, and Vic pursues. The guy goes and runs into like a little doghouse or something, and Vic sends the canine in after him. And they're like, no, this guy just raped 5 women. Let's give him a second. And I think we find out that the dog ended up rupturing one of the guy's testicles. So yeah. Justice was done there.
Shit.
I laughed really hard when they're like, should we call the dog? And he's like, he raped 5 women, and they just both turn around and just let the dog just gnaw some more. I'm like, see.
Meanwhile, Shane and Army visit Antoine, who gives them some cash. Shane tells Antoine that he can protect him from Vic as long as Antoine gives them good tips. And Anton tells Shane about some migrants being brought over the border and being held until family members can pay like a $5,000 to release them. Shane brings that information to Vic in the barn. We also see that Shane, Lem they're not on speaking terms still. We can't get the band back together yet. Let's see. Vic kind of tells Shane a little bit about some stolen airbags that they're looking into. And then Shane goes back to Antoine and informs him that the tip that he gave them worked out. They were able to make some arrests, and they rescued 80 of the migrants. He also warns Antoine about the stolen airbags that Vic is looking into. And Ronnie then informs Vic and Lem that the airbag man has moved shop, which confirms Vic kind of laid that out there for Shane to see if he would spread the information to Antoine. It's kind of very much like a Tyrion in a Game of Thrones, kind of just throwing the information out there to see where it goes. And so now he knows that he can't trust Shane. Lem tells Vic that Anton's oldest son, Donald, has been engaged in some ID fraud. So Vic and Lem arrest him and they interrogate him. But Donald's like, hey, I don't like my dad, but I'm not going to rat him out to you guys. Then we have Antoine meets with Shane, upset that his son was arrested. Shane tells Vic that he and Army want to join the seizure squad. They want to come back into the fold. Monica isn't really sure about bringing Shane back, but Vic vouches for him. And that's kind of the end of the episode. We got Shane and Army are kind of joining the seizure squad in the barn. So we got a little inside man. This season is kind of becoming like a little bit like The Departed, I think. I think that's probably why maybe Cody's starting to get in on it. But what did you guys think about this episode?
Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Shane's gonna fucking die. Shane's gonna die. He's got 2 people on his back. Vic wasn't dealing with any of his bullshit, knew right away to throw that trap out there. And what does he do? He catches him instantly. I think it's great. Just the cat and mouse of how it's playing out. Like I said, there's unfinished business besides in the squad, and they're exploring that. Overall, I won't say too much because I think it's the next episode. I think
so, yeah.
Is awesome, and just where this is just like the crumb before the main dish. Like it's great. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of piggyback off what Cody said is like I feel like in a lot of other, I would say lesser shows, we'd get the little hints of things to come, and possibly some of this stuff that we see here would pay off in a couple of weeks. In this case, it's going to pay off right away. A few of these things are going to pay off kind of immediately. This kind of also starts the trend of, I feel like at least with maybe not every character on the show, but especially with Shane, the show is making some very cool decisions. It's decisions I didn't think would, just kind of based off of my limited knowledge of the show, decisions I didn't think we'd get to until a little bit further down the line. I'm kind of excited that we're getting there like immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can go ahead, I guess, and jump into our next episode. Let's see. So episode 5 is called Tar Baby. Yeah. This episode, I thought, I was like, wow, we're doing like another rapist case right after we just solved it in the last episode. But it's not another rapist case. It's Aceveda working out some of his issues. He's having some very rough violence.
Yeah, we're working out. He's working out something.
Yeah, so him and this call girl are working out a lot of his issues, and she even says that it's healthy for him to be working out these issues with her. She thinks that she's almost like a sex therapist, but Aceveda's like, hey, I'm not paying you for your thoughts and opinions.
I mean, I think it's funny how last week we were thinking, oh, is Dutch going to become a serial killer? And then here, like, we getting onto this Aceveda, like, weird, like, a sexual exploration. Like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, it feels like it just came out of nowhere. Like, we're like, he's having, like, this, like, weird, weird fantasy with this prostitute. It's like, where is this going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's trying to gain back the control and the power that I guess was taken away from him, and like that was last season at this point. Yeah, because we're in a whole new season now. So, but he's getting there. Give him some time, I guess. Monica has a meeting with the community to talk about the new seizure policies, which I mean, she brings up some interesting points. Pretty much everyone's at this meeting. Antoine speaks up at one point, talking about how these seizures are only going to create a bigger problem in the community, and talking about how the police don't let people have second chances and that sort of stuff. Julian also speaks up about his experience growing up there, and kind of how the crack stuff kind of came in the 80s and kind of ruined the community. And then Aceveda, when there's a crowd, he's just got to jump up and say something too. So he jumps up and speaks against the policy. And Monica kind of puts 2 and 2 together. She realizes that, yeah, he set up this community meeting for me just so he could come in and make himself look good. So he also informs her after the meeting that he is going to be overseeing the program as the vice chair of the police committee. Then we have Vic is responding to a homicide. The victim is Romeo Barnes, a former drug dealer. Monica tells him to bring Shane into the case. And then we go to a fun scene where all the guys are in the barn and they're watching a surveillance video that they put one of the surveillance cameras in Dutch's car. So we get to see where he had kind of a disastrous first date.
I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Two things. One, I had to step away, I'm sorry, but the activated raid thing is fucking wild. Like, you put these motherfuckers in this world too long, they just start becoming the world or whatever. Gain your power back, whatever the hell you want to call it. Disgust, like, awkward. Hey, I chud no bruising. Just, And it's like, give the just like, don't be afraid. Like, it's fine. Like, shut up, bitch. I don't pay you for that. I pay for this, blah, blah. Here's your first. And then this one is just like an Aceveda, like basically setting up her to do this like testimonial thing, and then just to go up there and like get support, like, and then it's like, well, we're going to be working very closely together, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, if I give you the choice or something, and she's like, it was just it's crazy how like I guess we should get along. Do what I say, and we will. Fuck you, bitch! Like, oh my god, I hate Aceveda.
But yeah, like I said, I think that the scene with the surveillance video is genius, because on one point it's a very funny scene in this episode, but it also shows that Vic and the guys are using these cameras for not just what they're supposed to be using them for, which is something that's going to come into play, I think, in the next episode.
Isn't it early 2000s? This camera's got to be fucking massive.
2005. 2000, maybe.
No. The iPhone came out in 2007. These things are fucking massive. Like, you ain't doing this low key. Like, how? Come on.
Police might have those little tiny cameras. I don't know.
We just watched The Wire. I don't have fucking shit.
Yeah, but that was Baltimore. Baltimore ain't spending money on this stuff. But the police have to go out and buy their own surveillance.
And you're like, oh, we thought we were in another rape. This show does rape like it's fucking Sunday morning mass.
I think that's probably because it wasn't really on TV a whole lot at this point, and she was like, "Hey, we can do this now. We're gonna just like run with it." we're 10 o'clock on FX, so we're gonna get naughty.
Proceed.
Yeah. So Shane and Army ask Antoine about the dealer, he gives them the name Freebo. But Antoine warns them to keep the police away from his operations, because I guess Freebo is somebody who works for him. Lem comes into the barn. He has a witness for the case. The witness, Angie, she says that Romeo was her mother's sponsor, trying to help her get clean and try to stop her dealer from selling her the black tar heroin. So Angie, she takes Vic and Lem and Monica to see her mother, which then kind of leads them to another one-liner drug distribution center, so that they get to take that down. Lem is upset that Vic brought Shane back, but he won't bring him back to the barn, so it's not fair to Lem. The barn plans another raid, and Shane doesn't have the opportunity to call and warn Antoine that they're all about to raid one of his big drug facilities. And back to The Departed, this is where Shane needs to learn to text inside his pocket, but I don't know if the phones back then were really capable of that just yet. The raid is a success. They find a huge arsenal of guns and a whole lot of drugs. One of the guys that they arrest gives them Freebo's real name and info about they can find him with his brother Weebo.
That's just two on the nose. What we gotta call him? Weebo?
I mean, they're brothers.
Did we already cover the part where Shane had that one guy? Or is that yeah? I think I kind of glossed over that. That was the last episode. The one guy like
Antoine's one of his lieutenants. And
Yeah, he ends up
they
kicking the
beat
shit
him
out of
up,
him, beating
and
him down,
Army
and making
gets
his
the
one
other
guy
guy to
beat the
beat
shit.
him up. Yeah.
So, like, the only reason I bring that back up, not that
Yeah.
you missed anything, but like the tension between Antoine and Shane is growing by different
Yeah.
like actions of Shane's making dumb decisions that he thinks because he's got the power dynamic over
yeah.
Antoine, and that's just what I was like. Yeah,
Shane thinks he's Vic, but he's not Vic, as he's going to find out later in this episode. Aceveda tells Monica that she could have handled that raid better, and she tells him that it was the biggest drug bust in the last 10 years, so kind of back off. Antoine is not at all happy with Shane. He suggests that maybe they meet in person to work on their communication skills. Vic and Lem are watching when Freebo and Weebo get ready to ride off on their motorcycles. So they intercept. Lem has to kill Weebo when he pulls a gun, and Vic is able to arrest Freebo. When Vic questions him, Freebo says he doesn't know any Antoine. He doesn't work for him. So that's kind of another dead end into that pursuit. Monica assigns Dutch and Claudette to a home invasion homicide. We also still have Claudette is kind of still a little bit upset about the case from the last episode with the drug dealer with the 3 pot plants, especially when she finds out that Monica is seizing his house because he had 3 pot plants. But it gets Monica a little curious, so she ends up looking into it, and she talks to the ADA and kind of gets upset once she figures out what happened there. And she goes up to Claudette and kind of tells her a little bit about it, and they go ahead and they stop the seizure of the guy's house. And then Claudette questions Dutch about his involvement with getting them off the DA shit list. He tells her he did what he had to do and he'd do it again. And this is where we get the wonderful quote from Claudette.
what are the errands are we running for the DA?
Which is an amazing quote that they have an
She
impression.
is such a good actor.
Oh yeah,
she's so good in this role as a Claire. Like where she like goes up to fucking what's Glenn Close's character?
Monica Rollins.
Yeah, Monica, where she's like basically like, listen here, like I'm not doing this shit. Like we either do it together or like I'm not running any errands for anything. And he's like, I know nothing about the self-appointed stuff, and she's like, I'm not doing this double-handed stuff. And I love Monica's like, insubordination is something I can't have. Well, what I can't have is corrupt shit. So like
I'm
figure it out. Yeah, like I'm not. Then get your shit in line. Which Monica does do the right thing of like getting the DA in line, but like her just looking at Dutch and just being like, Dutch has never been in the wrath of an angry woman before, and he's just like, what a fucking errands are we running? I was like, damn, get it, girl. And then you showed me that Sunny like quoting that. I was just like, oh my god, because I have literally been at work, like if something's going on, I was like, what are the errands am I running? I've just been saying it because how she delivers it is so funny. So. But so good too. Like,
she does fantastic line delivery. Yeah. They end up this crime is an easy one for them. It's kind of a slam dunk. They pretty much figured out that the stepdaughter is lying to them about gang members being outside of their house.
Fucking think. Like Dutch and Claudette are so good at their job right now. They're like, dude, we smelled this in 3 seconds.
Like the gun is it's your gun. It's like, I forget that gun was stolen a while ago. I forgot to report it.
We had another robbery. He's fainting and doing all this stuff. And goes, gang members outside, huh? Shot you in the back with this gun that you were possessing.
Yeah, so they pretty much figured out it was the stepdaughter who killed her mother-in-law, so she could go back to taking care of her father on her own. So they pretty much get her to confess, and now that's kind of them for this week. Julian wonders why they are only seizing properties in Farmington and not the white communities surrounding Farmington. He goes and talks with Claudette, and Claudette pretty much tells him, I mean, that I got so much stuff on my plate right now. There's nothing really I can do to help you out with this. I've been fighting this battle for years, so good luck. Vic is about to stop Shane and Lem from fighting in the barn when Monica comes up and informs them that Angie ran away after her mother died from an overdose. So Vic and Lem run off to go looking for her. Then we have Shane goes to Antoine. Shane and Army, they tell Antoine that nothing is going to lead back to him. They pretty much taken care of it on their end. But Antoine is still furious about what he lost in the raids that day, all the drugs and guns and everything that he lost. His men beat up Shane and Army, and Antoine tells them that they were seen at the raid, so they could have done something to stop it or warn him. Then Antoine brings out Angie, and he tells them that he helped her mother overdose. Antoine then kills Angie in front of them with their guns and tells them that the body will be found with their bullets in it if they don't follow his orders from here on out.
And the card, right?
What's that? Yeah.
He takes out the card and he's like, "You'll wonder why you're fired."
Yeah. He puts their card in her pocket too. Yeah. So. Yeah. Shane and Army are in a rough spot.
Is that the last?
That's the last scene. Yeah.
When I saw Anthony Anderson in this, I rolled my eyes. I was like, Jesus Christ. We get Glenn Close and Anthony Anderson in the same season. Let me tell you how 180 they are in acting, in my opinion. Anthony's fine at comedic work. I have no problem like that. Like, he can be funny. But like, to be a serious like leader of a gang, please shut the fuck up. Take all the negative things I said and wash them out in this episode. Like, that scene where they kick the shit out of him, basically put on the thing and like shoots the girl and everything, was just incredible. And like, realized like now the tension between Shane and Antoine and Vic is like now at different levels, because you can't go too far because every cop will know what you're doing, and if you go too low, Antoine will kill you. So it's like this, and now putting Shane in the defense of like, are they going to have to try to take Antoine out? Like, it's just setting up for a beautiful. And again, this is very Departed. This is very
so like, Anthony Anderson right there.
Yeah, the rat. Listen, he wasn't the reason that won Best Picture. The rat game is just so interesting. Like, and again, I still think there's more to Glenn Close's character. Like, I think there's. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's going to be straight.
She definitely has personal beef with Antoine, because I think that was like her partner pretty much practically killed himself trying to get Antoine arrested the first time around. So she's got some personal beef there.
I just think like she'll overall, like, there's something more to her character. I don't know what it will be, but I'm interested to find out. But best episode of The Shield by a large margin, in my opinion. It was so, especially when they pulled the girl out at the end and be like, oh my, no, like, she just was trying the best for her daughter. Oh, killed her mom and made sure she died too. So crazy.
Yeah, no, this is excellent. Great way to end this. Like, kind of, like, it's weird because this almost feels like even like a finale moment, or like a even closer to mid-season. We're still kind of at the beginning of this, which is kind of nuts. And I really like what they're doing with Shane right now. Like, kind of putting him into this spot of him trying to play Vic, but also him clearly like making like these rookie mistakes and not really knowing how to do it, because like because they built it up in just the right way of making us believe, okay, at some point we just kind of know at some point the other shoe is going to drop on Shane. Like, Antoine's going to get the upper hand on him somehow. I don't really know where it's going to happen, but just the way it happens here, like, goddamn, I don't know how he's going to get out of it. I don't know where this is going to lead to, where his relationship is going to be with Vic after this. Like, I'm very curious to see how everything ends up, and just kind of where we're going to end up at the end of season 4, because we're setting up some crazy stuff right now.
Oh yeah.
Does Anthony Anderson like take a job to go
I
do
was
something
about to say,
else?
Anthony Anderson doesn't go do any I Love Lucy movies, so we should be good for the rest of the season arc.
Like, what else is he like? He does
What about
George
Three's
Fo-
Company? Was there a remake of Three's Company?
like what, he does a biopic of William the Refrigerator Perry or something. Like, has to leave. Like, what are we doing?
Martin Scorsese calls like, "Hey, I got this part for you in this Departed movie. You just need to leave that Shield show. Come aboard."
Mornings of one scene in the beginning, one scene at the end. Can you do it? Yeah.
All right, but that's going to bring us to episode 6, Insurgents. Vic and Monica are at one of the auctions for a seized property, which raises over $900,000. I think that might be the cumulative, because I don't see one of those houses selling for $900,000. So I think that might have been a few different auctions going on there. Shane and Army meet with Antoine. He gives them information about one of his competitors that he wants them to shut down and bring back half of their inventory for him. So the barn is also getting injunctions against the One-Niners gang. We have Lem informing Vic and Monica that there hasn't been any luck tracking down Angie. Later, Lem tells Vic that the autopsy revealed Angie's mother had way too much heroin in her system, so they think that somebody purposely helped her die with the overdose. Lem also tells Vic that he thinks Shane gave up Angie to Antoine. So Danny, Julian, Vic, and Ronnie break up a gathering of One-Niners playing basketball. So part of the injunctions is that known One-Niner gangs can no longer be out in public together, even if they are brothers, as we find out in the scene. One of the One-Niners whispers to Vic that he's undercover DEA. So Vic kind of hauls him into the barn, making it look good. His boss lets Monica and Vic know that they are tracking El Salvadorians, which are the ones that are supplying Antoine with some of his drugs. Vic's nanny drops off Cassidy at the barn when her daughter is about to have a baby. Vic asks one of the other patrol officers to watch over her. And then when Vic doesn't come back, Dutch, the gentleman that he is, offers to take her over to the hospital to drop her off with her mom. And then, while he's there, he may have asked her out on a date.
Why do you think that's a smart move?
Look, it's a horrible idea. It's a horrible decision for Dutch. Definitely shouldn't do it.
I can see where Vic's been riding his ass this whole season.
I mean, he thinks he's going to make it better.
What do you think he's going to do when she decides to have sex with her?
I mean, just for the show, I really hope Dutch fucks Vic. I really hope it happens. There's nothing more like this is maybe like the best moment of the series for me. Like, like please let it happen. I want this to happen more than anything.
I mean, Dutch is good stepdad material. As long as they don't have a cat or anything.
No, he
Antoine questions Shane about the injunctions, but Shane says that, hey, I have no control over that. There's nothing I can do to help. Shane tells him that they took care of his early request about his competitor, and that he warns him that the DEA and the barn are looking into the El Salvadorians. Vic leads a team, and they arrest some of the El Salvadorians with drugs, guns, and a whole ton of cash. And then they go raid another location, but Antoine was already tipped off on it by Shane, and he got the area emptied out before they get there. Monica is concerned that there might be a leak in the department. Monica tells then they go to a church. She talks to a reverend, tells him that they suspect some members are using his church to import drugs. He recognizes the pictures that she shows him as some of the volunteers from his church. Shane and Army notice one of Anton's men pulling into the church, and Vic is also there. So thinking quick, Army just rams his car into the other vehicle, and they tell him, keep your mouth shut.
He's the smartest Shane. He is the smartest Shane.
Well, I mean, so Vic taught Shane, so they kind of watered it down, and now Shane's teaching Army. So it's just like a game of telephone. they all come back to the church with a search warrant. So they search through the church. They arrest the suspects in front of all the churchgoers, and then they decide to search everyone in the church. And they end up finding a bunch of drugs inside the church candles.
No, couldn't be.
Antoine is very angry with Shane and Army. Shane tells him that they are protecting him from Vic, but Army's starting to get a little nervous about the whole situation. I think this is because he's new to the force, so this is the first time he's been dealing with this sort of stuff. But Shane asserts him that I have everything under control. We're going to be good. Claudette is still upset with Dutch. They end up responding to the case of a murdered woman. Dutch interrogates the guy that she was living with, while Claudette interrogates another suspect who's suspected of previous murders in Texas. Cody, I'm sure, recognized him from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Then they finally talked to a creepy coworker who had been selling store merchandise on the side. He offered her a cut, but she said that she was going to turn him in, so he had no choice but to kill her. Dutch tells Claudette. So yeah, they once again they you put these two on a case, they're going to solve it in like 10 minutes. Dutch tells Claudette that being on her shit list feels way worse than being on the DA shit list, because she's been kind of giving him the silent treatment this whole episode, just pretty much only talking to him about the case. So he's hurt that his friend is kind of giving him that sort of treatment. Monica talks with Julian about his concerns over the seizure policy, and she pretty much just tells him to suck it up. He was also expressed concern about them having to break down a church door. She pretty much tells him, hey, if you can't get on board with what we're doing, you should just request a transfer out of here. So then Julian goes and has a sit down with Aceveda and asks him to help against the seizure policy. So it seems like Aceveda might have himself a rat inside the department, continuing with the theme of this season. Monica is still worried that they have a leak, and she tells Vic to make it a priority and trying to figure out what's going on with that. Lem gets in Shane's face and asks him about Angie. Shane denies killing her or even giving her name to Antoine. Lem demands that Vic let him back in. He needs to be working there with them. And Vic and Ronnie show him a tape revealing that they have Shane's car bugged, similar to how they had Dutch's. And they pretty much shows all the dealings that Army and Shane are having with Antoine. And Vic says that they have to stop Shane. And that's the end of our episode. So it's not looking great for Shane right now.
Yeah, Shane's a bit. Yeah, it was another good episode. I really like how they are just portraying Shane as just kind of a full-on villain at this point. How he is just, which is very interesting because a lot of what he's doing is not incredibly dissimilar to a lot of stuff that Vic did early on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he's just doing it poorly,
No.
and it's getting in the way of like actual police work. Like, which the only difference here is I'm very curious to where this eventually ends up. I mean, I'm a little curious, at least on Shane's longevity at this point. Like, where, like, is he gonna make it out of this? Is he?
Expiration date. He has an expiration date.
Like, I mean, I'm already pretty sure Michael Pena's dead. Like, he's gonna die at some point. Like, it's a matter of time. It'll probably happen like in the next 3 episodes. Or no, wait, Matt, you have 4. So man, he's definitely dead. No way he's making it episode 11.
Gone.
But yeah, I got the Shield is definitely hitting a stride at this point. We're definitely into some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is it weird that I want to have some stakes? I want somebody to die. Like overall, like it would just be nice to like. Because the group's been intact. No one's really been any consequences that have ever really happened besides
I mean, they kind of broke up, but no one's really died since like the first episode.
Yeah, I'm not even wanting. I don't even want death. I want something like firing, some sort of turmoil,
Mhm.
to mean something. But overall, fantastic, just fantastic episode. It's fantastic and I'm like, this was really hard to like not click the next episode because like I'm hooked on two of these shows really
Oh,
bad.
Well, you got 4 of them next week.
That's good. That's good. Back to 3 for me on the Sopranos. Woo, go team. But yeah, that was great.
All right.
You ready to go to the 60s?
Let's go in the way back machine.
Yeah, that's where we
Oh,
go. We start out one place at a time and go back, and then go not quite to the beginning of that time, only a little. But no, yeah, we'll start with episode 5, the Chrysanthemum and the Sword. Big word here, starting things off. Yeah, it starts out the episode.
Matt was like, "What the fuck is this thing?" Like,
yeah. I'm happy you had to say that word, not me.
He thought we put a slur on the screen. He was really worried about our cancel culture was about to happen.
I'm sure someone's going to take offense to that word.
When he said "whoa," and I was like, "What did I do wrong?" I'm like, "Nope, I see it." Matt, in your upcoming trivia match, we're going to have you answer that as an answer. I hope you know how to spell it.
Chrysler Stadium, gotcha.
That was next level.
Okay,
all right, take us back.
Yeah. Don. He gets a call, something about an ad. Oh yeah, like the paper was calling him about like Ted Shaw said something about like I'm always in Don's rearview mirror, and Don is like, who is that guy? And then he hangs up with the ad reporter, but sure is gonna sit well with this Ted Shaw guy. Pete was able to get a meeting with Honda. Everybody's excited about it, except for Roger, because Roger still has World War II in the back of his mind. They're like, "Hey, man, like I knew a lot of people like who were killed by the old Axis. And like, we're not going to do any business with the Japanese, and that's that."
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks out of the room, and everybody's like, "But we're definitely going to do business with the Japanese. Like we need this account."
Keep him busy with something else that day.
Then Don is going out of a date with Jane's friend. It's on his second date with her. He asked his neighbor nurse to babysit. So like that's what she's gonna do. Because he's got the kids that weekend. Although Sally gets into like her little nurse's bag and like finds the scissors. And what do you know? She just decides to cut her hair. And the neighbor was like, "What the fuck? Why'd you do that?" And she's like, "Hey, are you and Daddy doing it?" It's like, "What? Why are you saying that to me? Like, why'd you cut your hair?" Like, I don't know, whatever. So like, she's on the scramble to fix it. Don is on his date. What's hibachi? Is that what that is?
Yeah, hibachi.
Yeah. His date is like, I don't know why we're here. Like this place sucks. Like you're making my hair smell like fried chicken. And then look, Ted Shaw shows up. We finally meet Ted Shaw. He's like, "Hey, how you doing on your date?" And Don is like, "I don't care." And he's able to kind of salvage his date somewhat. Though whenever he does get home, he then gets the bad news from the babysitters that, "Hey, Sally got into my scissors. Like you got to worry about that." And Don is like, my ex-wife's gonna shit a brick when she sees like my daughter's head. What the fuck? You just ruined any remote chance of us having sex. Hope you learned your lesson on that. So he does bring the kids home, and Betty.
I do love when he hands her cash and be like, "No, that's not necessary. No, just treat it as severance." Like, get the fuck out of there. Also, I love how Pete first this episode dives into Japanese culture. We're doing hibachi.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, 20 years ago, we dropped 2 bombs on them. I guarantee when hibachi showed up on the shores, these people's minds blew. You're going to cook in front of me with flames? Let's fucking go.
These guys are kind of cool. Why do we get in a fight with them?
Yeah, why do we eliminate 200,000 of them right away? That's fucking crazy.
How many hibachi chefs was that? Gone.
Gone.
So, but yeah, like Betty sees Sally's hair, and yeah, she doesn't react.
She has a normal reaction to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "What? I always wanted long hair, so yeah, I'm gonna hit my kid because she ruined her hair." And of course, everybody
Bitch.
yeah.
It was a
Bitch.
different time.
What a bitch. Sally did nothing wrong and gets hit right in the face. Like, one, that's a normal kid's thing, which pussy boyfriend decides to bring up to her. He sucked too. Like, good lord, these two suck. But you know what? Maybe Mark's right. Maybe Pete is going to be redeemed because he was right about fucking Betty.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I really didn't think you'd be on the anti-Henry side. Like Henry is the most normal guy.
He doesn't slap her when she slaps Sally.
I mean, he just feels like of all of the just horrible business people
Mark,
in here, he just feels like a normal guy.
I have an honest question. I don't know what it is. Why are we friends? We couldn't be more polar opposite on shit that should be universal.
Hey, opposites attract.
I'll tell you what. Big guy's got to stick together. I guess that's the only thing we got going for us right now because he just wants to shoot me in the foot every time I get going.
I just don't know why we're there. But anyway, the Honda guys come to the office and they're getting a tour of the place and they cover up Joan, but they can't stop looking for some reason. They're going over the rules of the presentation, and Roger's like, "Hey, what's this meeting going on? I know you guys like surprises. I guess you decided to show up." Throwing in all these things, and he tries his damnedest to ruin the meeting. But they were able to still get the meeting, and they were like, "All right,
that translator is the MVP."
You're skipping over the best part of the meeting where Pete gives them their gifts, and Bert's like, they'll open them later. But Pete's like, no, this is what's inside your gift.
Well, to Pete's defense, they got to open the cantaloupe. They can't just leave the cantaloupe in the box. All right.
Why are you giving somebody a cantaloupe?
It's the culture.
I don't know what 1960s are to people, but you don't give somebody a cantaloupe. And then Johnny, what is it, Black Label? Johnny
Something
Walker?
Like that, yeah. And the boss immediately switches for that versus the cantaloupe.
Yeah, but I don't know fucking cantaloupe.
I don't know why they wrap the cantaloupe. That's a head scratcher to me. I'll give you that. But I mean, if it's a fruit, he's got to tell them what's in there.
And then fucking Japanese culture, Roger comes swinging in and be like, "We dropped 2 bombs on you, bitches." Yeah, what's up, buddy?
I was amazed he restrained himself and didn't start a fist fight with them.
Who's the older guy? The old guy that
Bert.
takes off his shoes?
Bert. Yeah.
Bert looked like every mom in a church service where their kid decides to do a handstand for ass on the floor. Bert was like, my God.
It's like, we're going to the bathroom right now.
No one's saying, shut up, be quiet. Oh, no, he's just like, Bert's like, my God, what is he saying? It was crazy.
Yeah. So, they got some work to do in Honda. But, Sally ended up going to a sleepover.
Yeah.
And I guess she really she was watching TV, and I guess she was really liking what she was watching on TV. And, she got caught just doing it by its mother. And, Betty and Henry are at home. They're enjoying their time alone. And they get a knock at the door, and it's the mom. And she's like, "Hey, Sally was doing this thing, and you got to tell her to not do it at other people's houses." And she was gooning, all right? Just to tell her not to goon at other people's houses. We'll be all right. And
what was determined in 1960?
Well, I'm sure Betty took that well, being embarrassed in such a way in the middle of the night.
Funny enough, I think she reacted better to that than she did to her
Yeah,
daughter
she did.
cutting her hair.
We don't do that in public or in private.
Do you want me to cut
Calm
your
down.
hand off?
I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but Henry and Betty do discuss the possibility of maybe Sally seeing a psychiatrist. So that'll be something that comes up later. Roger then apologized for sabotaging the Honda meeting, but they found out, oh, looks like we're kind of dead in the water anyway. We should have gotten a gift, and we didn't get anything, which means they probably expect us to resign. And Roger is like, see, I knew that's what they would do. That's what they always do to us. I was right the whole time. Don pitches the idea of possibly breaking the rules to try to kind of enhance the opportunity of them getting the thing. But Lane is like, well, that kind of eat through our whole budget, so I don't think it's a good idea if we do it. Betty then calls Don about seeing the psychiatrist. She gets all bitchy about it. Don then says, you know what? CGC is the same size as us. What if we make them think we're doing a commercial? Force them to do a commercial. They spend all their money, and kind of we take them out of the running on everything that we're doing. And he just kind of puts his whole little mini caper into effect, and he gets Joan to kind of book a meeting with the director that he knows Ted is going to use to talk about like this thing. He ends up going back over to Ted, and he's like, hey, I think he's shooting a commercial, and that we bring in Kurt or Smitty, I can't remember which is which, to say what Don will do. Ted ends up biting, so he's going to do an actual commercial. And then they bring in Peggy to bring in a bike. And we see like our other guys like, oh, hold on, the close set. And Peggy's just like revving the bike around, like just making people
Go in
think
circles, yeah.
yeah, they're making people think that they're shooting a commercial in there. So that does seem to work. Don is working late, and he ends up talking to Faye. They bond a little bit over being divorced, like people do.
Yeah.
Betty does meet with the child psychiatrist. They talk about Sally and possibly why she might be acting out about like her grandpa dying and the divorce, and a bunch of different things going through Sally. Don goes to present after CGC showed their commercial. He says, "Hey, we know you had some people break the rules. I don't like that you guys gave us rules. You let other businesses break them. We don't want to be in your business. So let me just write you guys a check for the money you gave us, and we'll just bid our due." They then later find out that Honda actually was not leaving the company they were in, but they were actually they actually liked kind of like Don's resolve, so they ended up kind of looking good to Honda possibly later in the future. And as Lane was kind of laying that out there, he definitely voiced his disagreement of their tactics of kind of doing this weird little caper against CGC.
Yeah, there's like, but ultimately, I went ahead and let you do it, and Don's like, "Let me."
No, bitch. No one lets me do fucking anything.
Yeah, but it then end off with Sally meeting the psychiatrist, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we kind of talked a lot about this. Anything else to add about the chrysanthemum and the rope and the sword?
I mean, just overall great episode. The only thing I want to add is that Don's secretary is great. She's got some real gems in this episode.
She.
You told me not to bother you. No, when their meetings are fine, but when I say no coffee, you don't have to ask again.
And Pete tries to take the present from his. It's addressed to Don, Mr. Draper.
He's busy.
Just hand it to him.
Yeah, this is for Don. Hand it to him. All right, whatever. Like, she's great, and I love when Joan like walks in and goes, "I can get you another one." And he's like, "No, she's fine. We'll keep her."
Like Joan knows what I need, and that's what I need right now.
Last one he fucked, so he probably needs to get one that he won't fuck.
Yeah.
Even though
I mean, with the way he's
Nothing
drinking,
is off the table. We find out next episode, nothing is off the table at all. But the Chrysler Stadium and the sword was a really good episode. So
yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. Let's just head on. Yeah, let's just go on over to episode 6. Waldorf stories.
I just saw Wardolph and did the Matt impression, like, whoa, what is that?
Well, thankfully, next episode's not going to have any crazy words into it. Anyway, yeah, Don is interviewing this idiot for a job. Turns out he's Jane's cousin. Yeah, it has like this great idea. Like, hey, what if I just say like, hey, Chrysler, like cure for the common car? Isn't that like some fun idea? And just kind of put that in all like books of his ads. Don and Peggy thought it was a joke. Said, yeah, we're definitely never hiring this guy. Don tells Roger the bad news.
He has a book of just other people's like phrases inside there.
So I just sometimes put what inspires me in here.
And Peggy and is like, the fuck?
Excuse me. Yeah, they.
You're not excused.
Yeah, so they're talking about the interview. They're also getting ready for the Clios. The big advertising awards are happening this one. They got nominated for that Glow Coat commercial thing that we've been hearing rumblings about before. It takes us to a flashback of when Roger first met Don, when he was working at a coat shop. And he's helping Roger out, kind of pick out a coat for, a special lady. He notices some advertisements in the shop, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, I do those." And then, like, Roger was not super impressed. And then Roger, what do you know, is heading over to see Joan for like one of the first times. And as he's taking out the coat, he sees like, "Oh, another ad. Look at that." And Roger's like, "Well, that's fucking dumb." And then he ends up having sex with Joan, just not remembering the dumb thing that Don left in there. They have a meeting for Life cereal. It does get pushed. Their plane was arriving late, so they just end up going to the Clios and kind of see like where they're going. Like kind of going to the Clios, see if they're going to win or not, and they start kind of working the room. As that's happening, Peggy is having trouble figuring out a good working relationship with their new art director Stan, who is not the easiest guy to get along with. They can't figure out a direction how to take this Vic Chemical thing too. So they've been trying to hammer out some details all week, and they're not anywhere closer.
I hate this fucking prick. He sucks.
He'll be around for a bit.
Oh, lovely.
We then get into the awards, and what do you know? There's a bit of a guest speaker at the awards. A very drunk Duck Phillips just starts just babbling over the whole thing, and what do you know? He just gets escorted out. Yeah, I pretty much covered that. We then get into the awards. We're kind of going on, and yeah, the boys are definitely throwing them back at this point. They're getting all nice and lubricated, and what do you know? Glow Coat comes up, and they win. They won the award for I think it was cleaning commercials. What the actual nomination was, and they got it. Everybody's all happy. Megan shows up and says, "Hey, wanted to come back here and see like the office wanted to check in to see if we won. Also, like the Life people are coming in. Do we want to like push back the meeting?" And like Don and Roger is like, "Fuck that, let's just go sell this shit right now." And
We're
then
on a streak.
Pete and Joan, you sure? Is that yeah? Why not? Let's go rip and run, baby. Let's go take this down. So they get in there, and yeah, they're acting drunk as shit. They're running around the room. Don's like babbling and stuff. And Don is actually not terrible like at selling this thing. He throws up the idea, Life by the Bowlful, sells it pretty well. But the guy is like, I don't know. I'm just not sure about the slogan, "Life by the Bowlful." I'm not sure. And Don is like, I bet you I can think of a slogan on the spot. And he just starts like
Rapid
throwing
fire.
them out there. And like Pete is like, come on, Don, they're not expecting you to think of this right away. Like, no, I got it. And then he throws out like that dumb kids thing is like, how about cure for the common cereal? And then Peggy is like, what the fuck are you saying? And then the guy is like, oh, I kind of like that. Cure for the common cereal. That's snappy. Yeah, let's go with that. And then Peggy, the meeting ends, and Peggy's like, "Hey, don't you remember this thing?" It's like, "Hey, where are we with Vic Chemical?" He's like, "Oh, well, we didn't get anything." He's like, "Well, what the fuck? Like, why don't you go into a hotel room with that guy and like try to figure out this idea, like, just so that we have a direction to go." And then, of course, like the secretary hears that, and he's like what? Like, so where are you guys gonna have your meeting at? What hotel? He's like, what? He wasn't serious. What?
This is some of the most Harvey Weinstein stuff I've ever heard.
100%. Gosh, guys, you struggle so bad. Let's go to the hotel and figure it out.
And
Well, we
then
have a
the
lot
old
of rooms
secretary's
here.
like,
No,
you're going to that hotel. That's what Don says. That's what's going to happen.
yeah, it's like, do you want me to call him back to see if he was serious?
So after that,
Also, am I dumb for feeling like the life cereal? Like, I guess if that was the slogan, I don't remember if it. I need to look it up if that's what they ended up going with in like life. But did it not seem like the guy was just like tired of like Don throwing out stupid reactions? So he's like, you know what, that's a good one, and how Peggy's like reaction was like, Don, you just fucked. Like you didn't pick up on it, but they hated this. That's how I got it. Maybe I was wrong, but that's what I was feeling the
I
entire
think
time.
I think it's supposed to show that he's just like a dummy, and he's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that one, the most basic one. Because I
Don
mean,
has
I
struggled more
assume
on
they
pitches
realized how
this
sloppy
season.
drunk Don was, which is amazing. He's still able to present as good as he did, I guess. But yeah,
He struggled more on pitches this season than any other season.
yeah.
anyway, they move on. After that meeting, Pete heard some rumblings in the wards about something with Ken. He goes to talk to Lane about it, and it turns out Ken is planning to jump ship from his agency. He's going to bring a couple of accounts with him, and this upsets Pete because Pete is like, "Well, what the fuck? Are you gonna like do like some kind of fucking race with us again? Like, see which one of us can be like co-head of accounts? I'm not down for that." And then Lane is like, "Listen, like we need you to be." We can't just have you just getting these accounts. Like it ain't gonna be Roger. You saw what just happened in that room just now. Like we need another guy, and it might as well be Ken, which Pete at least understands a bit there. Um, Roger, Don, and Joan then go out to celebrate, and they're still ripping and roaring the night away. Dawn then tries to make a move on Faye. She's like, "Yeah, no, you can get away from me, you drunk bastard. Like, we can ain't gonna happen tonight." Uh, then go back over to the hotel room. Peggy, like Stan, is like kind of talking about stuff about, hey, like some people like try to think naked. I think in some situations I can think naked, but at least not here with you. And then she's hearing this all fucking night, and she's like, you know what, fuck it. Like let's just let's do it. And like so, Peggy just gets naked, like, hey, I can handle this as you can. Stan was like, all right, fuck it, like let's do this. So they all just get naked in the room while they're trying to go back and forth on like Bit Chemical, and like it's getting to the point where like she's kind of like making fun of his erection because I guess like he's got a thing going on there. And at some point Stan is like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm not gonna do this. She took the fun right out of all of this. And of course, Peggy, gets the old feeling all good because she won in this instance, or I guess so. They still have to come up with ideas for Vic Chemical, but at the very least she got the better of this guy in this one instance. Then go into as Don is kind of getting down to business in his room. At least I think that's what it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
we get another flashback whenever he runs into Roger at the building saying, "Hey, I had a meeting here." Roger's like, "Yeah, I don't believe you." He's like, and Don's like, "All right, you caught me. I just wanted to see if you looked at my stuff and like maybe give me a job." And then Roger's like, "Nah, I can't do any of that. But you know what? We can. You can take me out to some drinks, and maybe we have a good time about it." They seem to do that. Him and Roger get drunk in this flashback, and he's like, "Listen, man, you got a good job selling coats. Like, you don't need to worry about this." So they walk out of there, possibly to never see each other again. Uh, and then, what do you know? Don is there. He goes home with some woman. They're getting down to business. He ends up falling asleep. And then and he's like, "Oh shit!" Waking up from a really bad hangover. Woken up by ringing phone, and Betty is like, "What?" Is like, "What the fuck? Are you gonna come pick up your kids?" Like, "What are you talking about? That's on Sunday." He's like, "It is Sunday." And he's like, "What the fuck you mean it's Sunday?" And then what do you know? He looks over to his left and he notices, this is not the woman that I came home with the night before. Dawn has a legendary bender of going to bed on Friday and waking up on Sunday morning and having a whole day of activities and not remembering. Yeah, he's able to get that woman out of his apartment and able to rest up from his big Saturday of not remembering by sleeping again when Peggy then wakes him up at a knock at the door later that night and says, "Hey, you took that dumbass's idea, so either you got to buy his idea or you got to do something to fix this. So I don't know I don't know what you're gonna do. So you better figure it out." Don then ends up bringing in that kid the next morning, saying, "Hey, how about I'll buy this idea for you. How's about $50 sound?" It's like, actually, I'd like a job. What about 100? No, I'll just take that job. Like, come on, kid, be reasonable. It's like, nah, I want the job. He's like, all right, fine, I'll give you the goddamn job, whatever. Pete then talks to Kenny. He makes it clear that he's the boss. They have a bit of a dick measuring contest that I guess kind of comes out okay there.
Pete outdouches himself. I was waiting for him to just be like, "Suck."
Sock?
We then head over to the end. Don tells Roger, "Hey, I hired that kid. I figure I couldn't live without him." Roger is like, "All right, thanks for doing that. I'll give you a reward." Turns out it was the award we won. In your drunken stupor, you left it at the bar. So yeah, here it is. And then upon that, Roger then remembers going to the last flashback of whenever he showed up to work the next day when him and Don got drunk at that bar. And Don shows up like, "Hey, how's the first day?" He's like, Roger's like, "What the fuck? Why are you back here again?" He's like, "What? You hired me?" They're like, "What? I didn't fucking hire you." He's like, "Yeah, you did. You said welcome aboard." And then Roger could not remember if he said that or not, and just kind of went with it. And that was how Don got his start at Sterling Cooper. And that is the end of Waldorf Stories.
Oh, that's a great reveal that Don pretty much just hustled his way into this job. Especially when earlier in the episode, somebody asked Roger, "What is it that he does?" He's like, "I find guys like that." When he didn't want to hire Don at all in the first place, so he doesn't even do the one thing he says he does.
Yeah. I think it was a great episode. I think the funny thing is like the hotel of like waking up from like the different girl from the previous night. And so you think they're gonna wake up and it's somebody different. And you're like, holy shit! Like they put the audience even in there and be like, what? Like, do you work here? Like, what is this?
A waitress?
Hey, you were a waitress. So that was really funny. But overall, I think just Elizabeth Moss just fucking Betty in that scene, like just owning him and just like, yeah, you're gonna sit in a room, stare across from Elizabeth Moss's boobs, and be like, all right, you're gonna be able to think of great plans. Good job, buddy. Because guess what? You're gonna be sad and lonely at the end of it because she's not gonna do anything, but you're gonna be quite frustrated. I thought that was. I think the next two episodes is like Betty's like best
Peggy,
as
yeah.
Betty, like as Peggy. Why is it Betty? As Peggy, as Peggy's best episodes. I think she's just killing it. I think she's this character is probably the most complex character in the show. I think I've said that before, but like of just everything she goes through and like what she like basically being a boss in a man-dominated field, and like,
Oh yeah,
I
you,
just
you
think
compare
she's
season 1 Peggy to now Peggy. It's like,
yeah, it's great. So Peggy's killing it. I absolutely love her character, and just how she puts all the guys like in their place is just great.
Mhm.
Watch me turn out to hate her at some point too, but right now, Team Peggy. So
We'll say one thing real quick. Consumed a lot of media. I don't think we'll ever. I have not seen a better hangover bender type moment than Don had in this last episode.
The only
100%.
one that comes close is when McNulty
You're
is so
supposed-
drunk that he can't make that turn, so that he backs up his car and tries again to make the turn.
You know what? That's 100%. That one is. But
Okay.
when
Yeah.
you're supposed to be here at 12, I'm not getting them until Sunday. It is Sunday. The fuck? Just legendary. No, but McNulty,
Oh, yeah.
if we ranked him, McNulty is definitely one.
Like
Where
they
he
would be good
blasts
drinking
that
buddies.
pole, backs up and blasts the pole again. Like, that's just levels. I'll teach that fucking pole. Boom.
You know what, Matt? Yeah, when you're right, you're right. The McNulty one, that definitely is bad.
That's one of those points that I talk about. You just got one.
All right. Yeah, let's just finish this one up. Let's go with the last episode, the big one, the suitcase. Yeah, there's a bit of buzz around the office about a big boxing match between Sonny Liston and some guy named Cassius Clay. I don't know who the hell that is. Nobody knows.
Fucking chump.
Apparently, he's going by like Muhammad Ali or something now.
Yeah, that
mean,
won't catch on.
Yeah, I don't think he changed his name. Yeah, their group is struggling to think of something with Samsonite. Don saw them react what seemed like a bad commercial, so they are running out of ideas. Also, Peggy's birthday, so she's got a bit of emotion there. She hears from
Peggy.
Duck. He's definitely a bit lovesick. He definitely like Peggy.
I'm nothing without you. I want you to be with me.
I mean,
I can't talk right now.
Peggy leaves an impression on people. I'll say that. Like they're just not the same after being with Peggy. Like, just look at everybody.
He's been dragging his ass on the carpet for the last 3 seasons because he can't be with
her. Don then hears from his secretary that he got a call from somebody named Stephanie from over in LA. They say it's urgent. And Don is scared to death calling this number back. He knows what's going to happen. He kind of figures he's going to get some bad news there. Jesus Christ. And so he's trying to put it off. Roger then comes in, wants him to be his drinking buddy for the big fight tonight. Don declines, says he's got to work on Samsonite. And Peggy is about ready to leave the office. She's ready to go and enjoy her birthday. But what do you know? She gets caught in the bathroom as Trudy is telling Peggy that, hey, don't worry, 26 still very young. But she's like, well, fuck, I guess Don needs to hear about the Samsonite thing. Let me just go do the Samsonite thing. She get a really funny part where the crew is like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like, she unfortunately gets caught in. Great bit when she walks to get her stuff and sees a completely empty office as she's going back to show Don all the Samsonite stuff. And what do you know? Don hates all their ideas. Like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do this right now. Let's just buckle in and kind of figure out if we got a good idea or not. However, Peggy had plans with her boyfriend Mark. She was going to be at a romantic dinner with him. And also, surprise, Mark decided to invite her whole family. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Family's going to be there for the dinner. Like, there's nothing Peggy likes more than spending time with her family, as we all know.
How do you get from become an ex-boyfriend real fast? Invite the mother-in-law.
Yeah, she tells him, don't worry, I'll be like 15 minutes. We'll see. So the Peggy and Don are kind of working over the idea, and they think they got somewhere, and then the phone rings again, and Don is like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" Like he gets petrified again. It turns out it was Peggy's phone. It's Mark again. It's like, "Hey, it's been an hour. Where the hell are you?" He's like, "Don't worry. Like I'll be there. I'll be there in a little bit. I'll leave soon." He's like, "Well, come on, you got to get over here now." It's like, "You know what? Why don't you just go home?" And then Mark is like, "God damn it, Peggy! I got your whole family over here. You got to go in now." He's like, "Oh, well, oh shit. Okay, fine. I'll tell Don I gotta leave." And then she goes back to Don saying, "Hey, like, I gotta go." It's like, "Well, I don't know if we figured this out yet." And then, like, so what do you know? Like, she gets in an argument that, "Hey, I gotta go in there." And Don's like, "All right, fuck it, I'll do it myself." And she goes down the elevator, thinks she's gonna leave. She's like, "You know what? No, I'm not gonna let Don give one over me again." So she calls Mark. She's like, "Guess what? I can't come by." Turns. He's like, What the hell? Like, why are you picking Don over me again?" He's like, "What? It's not like that. We just got to do this whole work thing." He's like, "You know what? Fuck it. Why don't we're just done here. I don't want to be with you anymore. We're done breaking up." Which, of all the ways to break up with somebody, breaking up with somebody over the phone while you're sitting there with their whole family, could not think of a worse way to do it.
Do you think he has to buy them dinner, or can he just like head out?
He shouldn't have to, but he definitely will. Like, the
I
small
think
price of
they-
You invited us to the city.
I think they might accept him to be the
Yeah.
part of the family and kick Peggy
Be
out.
like,
They're
we'll
not
do a
big Peggy
trade.
fans.
Yeah, so then after upset that Peggy just broke up with the boyfriend, she goes back to Don. He's like, What are you doing here? I thought you were going to dinner." It's like, "No, I'm ready to work. So let's get down to it." And it's like Don is like, "What? Like, just go run off to him. Like, do the no." It's like, "Because if I leave here, you're gonna come up with some great idea that you're gonna take all the credit for, and I'm just gonna be a little shit out of luck." It's like, what? Like, it's every idea comes in here is not just my idea; it's the agency's idea. It's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like what you did on fucking Glow Code, taking all the fucking credit. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like like it's your fucking job to give me ideas. What are you talking about? And then they get into a legendary back and forth. Like maybe one of the best, like, just back and forth. Like I was gonna try and do it. I'm not gonna do it. Just go and watch the fucking
That's
thing.
what the money's for. It's like, Cody, if it's not too late to change the opening credits, that's the Don moment.
Just awesome. And of course, it upsets Peggy greatly. She goes off in the bathroom and starts crying. She wants to spend some time alone. And then Don, still kind of trying to figure stuff out, he is starting to record his ideas for Samsonite, and then comes across like these gems of a tape recording from Roger as he's trying to figure out stuff for his book. And he's able to call in Peggy in the office. They listen to all this weird stuff that Roger's been talking about apparently Ida Blankenship being, kind of being kind of a Hellcat woman, Bert having no balls, like a bunch of neat stuff. And they end up kind of somewhat making up. And then Don is like, "You know what? It's your birthday. Well, I want to take you out to some dinner and some drinks." They go out to some diner, have a burger. They talk about their family life and kind of all the stuff that's going on. And while they're at the bar, they kind of talk about their relationship woes. She throws a jab at him for fucking his secretary. He throws a jab at her for kind of getting pregnant out of wedlock. They're having, they're learning a lot about each other. They then hear what turns out to be maybe one of the shortest blockbuster fights ever. Turns out this guy Cassius Clay knocked out the Sonny Liston guy like in like a minute and a half. Uh, so they're like, "Well, shit, I guess that's it. Let's just go back to the office and pack up and go home." Uh, they rush over. Don gets sick from the elevator. He ends up puking in the restroom. Uh, Peggy's on her way to get him some water. And what do you know? Duck is in the office, and he's going to take a shit in Roger's office, thinking it was Don's. But Peggy's able to get him out of there. She starts walking him out. Don then sees them. It's like, "Oh, what the hell are you guys doing?" And then Duck is like, "Oh, I see what's going on. You're sleeping with Draper again." And then he calls Peggy a whore. Don doesn't like that very much. He takes a very drunken swipe at him, and then Duck very easily bests them and tells him like some really creepy fact that he killed, I think, 17 men in Okinawa. Fucking crazy. Like, all right, I'm not gonna mess with Duck. So Peggy then is able to walk Duck out of the office. Don wants to continue the night. He's like, "Why don't you pour me another drink?" And Peggy's like, What the fuck are you doing, man? Why are you gonna go on like this?" Like, and he says, "Listen, I gotta make a call. No, it's gonna be bad. I just want to, get drunk until then." And they end up falling asleep together on the couch. He then wakes up early in the morning. He calls Stefan, or actually, no, before that, sees a vision of Anna kind of walking around with a suitcase, kind of ghostly figure, if you will, spirits or whatever. I don't know, like some that Dawn sees. But after that, calls Stephanie. She says, "Yeah, she died. She didn't want to talk to you, but she wasn't really there." And of course, kills Dawn to hear that, and he knew it was coming. Still tears him apart. And of course, Peggy then wakes up and overhears the news, and he just breaks down right in front of her. She's able to comfort him. So, and at the end of that, she's like, "All right, just go home. I mean, come in late. Don't worry." She ends up just sleeping at the office. She gets awoken by everybody there and sees Don all spruced up as if nothing happened the night before. And he's like, "You know what? This old Ollie Sonny Liston photo. This seems pretty good for the Samsonite ad." And she's like, "Oh, how's it gonna run on television or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, why you shitting on this fucking idea? What's wrong with you?" And then she's like, "All right, it's good." Then right before he has her leave, he takes her hand, gives her a silent acknowledgement of the night and pretty much how they grew close over that night. He's like, "All right, why don't you go ahead and go home, change, come back, give me 10 lines. We'll see you in a bit." And then yeah, that is the end of the Suitcase.
Yeah, it's just a phenomenal episode. It might be the best episode we've seen so far. I mean, go figure. You put Dawn and Peggy as 90% of the episode, and it's probably one of the best episodes. But yeah, just that sequence there at the end where he makes the call and then he tells her like the only person that ever really knew me had just died, and Peggy doesn't know it, but she get to see Dick right there. He kind of dropped the whole Dawn facade a little bit there, and she kind of got to see that. So yeah, fantastic.
I don't watch a ton of TV, but Don and Peggy are like one of the best like combos in TV I've seen in a really long. Like I'd put them up there with Jesse and Walt. Like different aspects, obviously. Theirs is a little bit more trauma bonded with that one, but this one is just like Don treats women like objects and pieces of property throughout everything. The only one he really doesn't, besides California, is Peggy. He holds her at such a high regard and such respect for her. Now, if he shit-faced another night or something, he may fuck her. I'm not really sure. He will literally put his dick in anything and not remember it. But the aspect is like the mutual respect. It's like, and when they went at each other and went blow for blow and then like still like basically tip of the cap like to each other at the end, it's just like something just the writing between those two characters is so smart in this show. And like even like when they start up this thing is like, you can do whatever you want, but I will spend the rest of my life trying to hire you. Like you're the best that I've ever like toe for toe, like side by side. So I love that. And you could put those two, like the episode, like Breaking Bad, the Fly episode, put those two in a fucking room and just have them have conversations for the entire time. And I would be fully hooked. Like they are so good together. And like in certain episodes, you would be like, I think there'd be like something if you have a male and a female character that you'd want them to get together at some point, or you want that reaction. And I just, even if that is like final episode, like they do for some, I think it would be weird. personally, I just don't see those two as that. But like, I love them as just like mutuals, like co-workers. Like, I like that dynamic, and like, it wouldn't ruin it if they do get together at some point, but it wouldn't like. It's kind of nice if they're not. Like, they're not there because there's no of that weird tension between them. It's just boom. Let's get to work. So I think it's great. I would say this is close to like the Avengers teaming up at the end of last season finale. So, and they pulled this in episode 7. They got 6 more to go. Like, but this season's hitting on all cylinders. Like, for me, this is by far right now the best season by far.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Even if we didn't get to see how they set up inside the agency there.
yeah, that would be there. That would argue 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5 of Breaking Bad.
If we saw those first 6 months, man, we could really tie this whole thing together.
Listen, if you're gonna be a disrespectful fuck, just own it, okay? Like, don't pander to me, okay? You know I'm right. Fuck off.
Okay, well, whatever.
You're telling me if we got to see it, you would hate Breaking Bad. You would hate Mad Men because we got to see the 6-month period.
I'm sure we're not going to argue about getting more Mad Men. I would watch a whole movie on Don's Missing Saturday from the episode before.
Yeah, fair.
It's not worth
I hate when
arguing.
you do that.
It's not worth arguing about it.
Listen here. Don't hit yourself in the face, okay?
Whatever.
I'm
Let's
gonna
get
Tony
to the story.
Soprano in your ass.
Let's talk about Biomine.
Well, we're not there yet. We're talking about the weight, the important shit. So main thing happens is the mob tension of a joke that Ralphie made previous season about the 90-pound mole on what's her name? Jenny Sachs's ass. And it basically starts with Johnny Sachs kicking the shit out of one of Ralphie's team members, brutally fucking him up. While we also see Jenny like weighing on the scale, and Johnny Sachs coming back and covered in blood. Tony and Carmela sit down with a financial advisor about it. Life insurance trust, like trying to get money more liquid, more available when they need it. Tony and Johnny Sachs have a whole heated exchange because what the fuck are you doing? Kicking the shit out of the guy. The kid's just a kid. Ralphie made a joke about my wife and a 90. Well, fuck. Yeah, I don't know if he said that or not, but if he said that, like, that's out of line. Shouldn't do that. Like, you just tell me who said it and blah, blah, blah. So he's trying to clear him up, not getting it. I don't know how I fucking feel about this, but Furio and Carmela's situation, like,
I get nervous every time I see them on screen alone together.
I love it. I love it. It's awesome. I love it so much.
Like, all we're missing is like the dramatic music playing of like look into my eyes, like it's just waiting for them just to fuck. Interesting. Meadow is gonna be working at like a law place for like defendant, like an internship, basically to help people that can't afford the system. Christopher and we'll go to Jennifer and Peter Bogdanovich. Their personal struggles because her son Jason is trying to like disengage from education and going through all the struggles. So she expressed the feeling of inadequacy in advising Tony on his parenting when he's facing her own struggles in her own situation. So there's always that situation that ends up going. Tony meets with Ralph and basically says, "Hey, you're gonna call Johnny Sachs. You're gonna clear up this thing, but don't apologize. Like, don't apologize because it's your word versus his word, and we want to find out who the mole is inside that told Johnny Sachs the thing." So Ralphie calls and was like, "Oh man, I didn't say it. I didn't. I believe me, I didn't. I don't believe shit you say. Oh, I don't know. I mean, if you want me to apologize, I'll apologize. Like the fuck you say?" And Johnny Sack asked the question, like, "Why would you apologize if you said you didn't need to apologize for anything?" I'm confused. Like, what the fuck? Tony like gets him off the phone. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? I told you not to apologize. Like,
We have one thing to not do.
like fucking idiot." Johnny Sachs meets with, I don't know who the older guy is. I didn't catch his name.
That's
Carmine.
like like
Is
the
that
New York
Carmine?
boss. Yeah,
So that's the main
He's
guy.
talking about
Okay.
the boss he meets up with, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Carmine.
Okay, I didn't know if that was Carmine or not, but I know the name. I just didn't know if that was Carmine. Carmine basically goes, "So what happened?" He goes, he said my wife had a 90-pound mole on her ass, meaning she's heavy enough to have a 90. And he's like, "That's very out of line, but I can't whack a guy for that line. Like, I just can't do it. We don't have any respect in this world anymore. That's my wife." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I just can't greenlight a hit because you think you're your thing." He's like,
This
"But
guy
I'll
brings in a lot
tax
of
him.
money.
I'll tax him. I'll ask for 200 grand. 200 grand is what my wife's dignity is worth? Is that what you're saying?" So fucking weird. Tony meets up with Meadow at school and basically goes, so I was mean to Noah, so you're going to be working with a foreigner. Is that what you're like, all these immigrants and stuff? And like, just like, listen, Dad, like, it's well before Noah. It's like other shit situation. Basically, a little father son moment. Basically, let's go to the store. We'll buy some t-shirts, stuff like that. Then Peter Bogdanovich almost gets killed because he's in a parking garage and Tony Soprano's walking right in front of him, and he decides to like rev the engine behind him. Don't know why the fuck you're doing that, but like, why don't you just be patient? Doesn't. They have to sit down, Carmine, Tony, Johnny Sachs, and Johnny Sachs goes, so I found out this guy was taking like 150 grand off the top, blah, blah, blah. Johnny Sachs gets up and goes, "I can't listen to this. Bullshit." Like, he's fucking lying. Like, I have no business in it. And they end up like having a whole like discussion about it, about what's fair. And we'll get back to that because overall, it's not going well for Johnny Sachs and Ralphie in the overall conversation. Peter Bogdanovich basically meets with his daughter, and checks in on like Jason, her son, like why he's skipping school. Like, oh, he's a kid that's just gonna cry to get attention for the thing, but he'll go back to school, no problem. Carmela and Tony have a conversation about like money. He's like, "You have no problem with accepting money. You belittle everything I say. Everything I say, you belittle when it's stressful to me, Tony." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you don't have no problem spending the money. Your love is money. That's all you care about. Like, that's the only way you designate anything." And we have seen that throughout the show. Then Ralphie is no longer in the room with the Carmine interview. It's Johnny Sachs, Carmine. Silvio is now there, and Tony and Junior is on the phone. And he's like, "Hey, we need to do we need to figure this out." And he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna green light something like what was said. That's not important, Junior. I'm not gonna tell you what was said." He's like, "But back in my day, like, he's like, it's none of business." And Tony's like, "No, not my business. One of my guys said something to you, and I'm not allowed to know who said it." Like, and Junior goes, "My nephew has a point. Like, you need to tell us like what's going on." And they end up basically saying, he's like, "You tell me, you bring in the guy who said what we said, and we'll clear it up. Right? We'll put his word against yours." What? There's no. My word means nothing. My word means nothing. Like, he said it. We know he said it. So basically, Johnny Sachs does not get what he wants. Then Carmine basically calls Tony at home and he goes, "I think we might have a problem with Johnny." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying he may just do it himself. Like, but what do you want me to do? I'm not saying anything. You might want to take this fucker out. So there's like a plan to possibly take
But
out.
if he wasn't there tomorrow, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind as much.
And then Ralphie, of course, like says the stupid line, and Tony goes, "Why the fuck don't you go to fucking Miami Beach or whatever? And why would you maybe be alive? You fucking idiot! Like we'll clean your messes up again." The question I have is, why is Ralphie alive?
There's I don't remember who
What
he tells it to.
benefit is Ralphie to this group?
There's a great line where Tony says, "If he were drowning, I'd throw him a cinder block."
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, he sits there with Junior. He's like, what about Ralphie? He goes, I don't like Ralphie anyway. If the man was swimming, I'd throw him a cinder block. Like, just, like, I ain't giving him any luck, I don't think. And then they're like watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I was, oh, what an idiot! He used all his lifelines, and he's on the first quest, like second question. Like, I just love when I love this shot early '90s to early 2000s, like because you like the medicine cabinet opens or something like shows. It's like a blast from the past of like old like '90s stuff. But Junior and Tony talk about a person like a group of family from New Jersey. Older guys, these older guys, I'll tell you, they're still tough. Like, you don't need to worry about them. Fucking blind, creepy. I thought We Were in the Hills Have Eyes. Christopher walks in for 3 seconds and goes, "You on drugs?" And he's like, Why the fuck you meaning that? Like, we don't do anybody with drugs. And he's like, oh, well, they smelled the heroin through your blood right away. So they meet with him. Junior, Johnny Sachs has sent a hitman to follow Ralphie to Miami, or to Florida to basically take care of him. Fucking Carmela stops by fucking Fredo's
Cheerio.
house, help him out. There's this sequence where Johnny Sachs is leaving his house. Jenny's still home. The hitman is basically in Florida with Ralphie and the overall situation. Johnny returns home, which I think he's getting whacked at this point. Doors unlocked. Jenny was home. I was like, oh, okay, this is how they're going to take him out. Like, that's interesting. That's an interesting move of how that's going to work. And then, no, she's just fucking hiding candy bars in the basement and eating them. Like, I'm a big guy. She's a big girl. Like, the candy bar being hidden is not a fucking surprise. Like, if she's on Atkins, that's the worst Atkins I've ever seen in my life. Like, what are we
I
talking
thought you were
about?
on the Atkins.
I thought you were on the Atkins. You lied to me.
And he's like, I never told you to lose weight. I didn't care. This was all your ideas.
And then I love that he's like, oh, my wife's still eating fucking Snicker bars, so hey, cancel the hit. My wife is fat, so I guess we're fine with it now. I was like, what the fuck are we doing this entire episode? Furio and them have the housewarming party. There's end up dancing with Carmela. There's this like overall mood. Johnny Sachs basically makes up to Ralphie, like that chapter is now closed. Carmela gets this black dress or black whatever from Tony, and he ends up plowing her, but she's thinking of Furio.
Yeah, I thought that she was just thinking about that music in her head. Then they reveal that Meadow's listening to it.
Yeah,
Meadow, turn the music down.
Like, I thought she was like daydreaming about Furio the whole time. Oh. Yeah,
overall episode, what'd you guys think?
Yeah, this was a fun episode. All the stuff with Johnny Sachs and Ralphie. Ralphie came close. He had the hitman right there on the elevator with him. It was almost lights out there. A couple of things I had on here. There's a scene, I think, when Silvio, I guess the inspector comes to the strip club and he has to leave. And Christopher, the douche that he is, just goes over and starts eating Silvio's French fries. That's a horrible behavior.
I couldn't agree more.
keep that in mind for bad guy of the week.
I mean, I got a case for him.
This episode's great. I really like it. It really shows some of the better things about Sopranos, are where the big moments of the show come from places you don't expect it to. Just because I even love a couple episodes before where Ralphie says the joke and we just kind of ignore it. It's like Ralphie says a joke, everybody laughs. All right, let's get on to business. Like it's basically ignored, but it turns out to be like this thing that almost gets Ralphie killed. And where even though Johnny Sacks says he's over it, he's probably going to harbor like some sort of resentment towards Ralphie, because why not? Because Ralphie's a fucking asshole. Like, nah, it's great. And then the Carmela Furio thing I think is just incredible, especially how, like, even though it's further down the line, I just like how clueless Tony is to it. Like, it's right in front of Tony's face. Of the guy who cheats on his wife more than anybody that we'll ever know doesn't see that his wife is like really like just thirsting for Furio right in front of him.
Yeah. Fucking wild. Okay.
Yep.
Next episode?
Best one.
Oh my! Woo, baby! Boo-boo-boo-boo! Episode starts. We're in Adriana's bar. Tony is like getting a phone call there, but overall she keeps hearing like fucking kill the bitch, like blah blah blah, thinking like he's onto her, like she knows. Fucking Janice is getting with or moving from family to family.
Bobby alone.
Yeah,
Bobby doesn't deserve
just
No.
just lost his wife, but overall like having food. Adriana is getting still bugged by the FBI about wanting to confess or talk about it. She's like having thoughts. I think she doesn't know like how to like go about it, but she keeps getting pressured from them to do it. Tony and Carmela are talking about money still, classic problems. Needs to put $10,000 into a stock before it breaks. So then, money's hard to come by. He ends up sneaking out of the thing, gets $10,000, and they end up buying a fucking racehorse called Pile My. They're talking about the race. Oh, maybe he's a front runner, needs to be in the front, blah, blah. So I'm getting a horse. The whole thing about the whole gambling thing, it ends up winning. They end up making money. Ralphie ends up making money on the horse. They're pretty excited about the whole thing. Carmela and Tony's frustration with money continues to be an issue. Adriana doesn't know how to, like, she's being distanced from Christopher because overall she doesn't know really how to say it. Janice and Baklava having a great time, being homely and family, and like she's staying with him all the time, making him food, like putting her hooks right into the motherfucker. More horse betting. Tony says, "Oh, by the way, we got the $10,000. We can buy that stock now." The Carmelo, yeah, that's fucking broke. We're done with that. So we missed our shot. She's giving him the cold shoulder, not talking to him basically at all. Eating, drinking away from him. Adriana and Christopher talk about getting married. Because, like, oh, I can't testify. What the fuck? Why are you bringing up testify? What are you talking about? Like, you're burning the butter. Like, fucking just make my age and shut the fuck up. Like, Richie comes into Adriana's club. They overtake her office, which doesn't sit right with Adriana. Running up a bill. Adriana's like mad at Christopher. He's like, they came in here, ran the thing. I'll just overcharge some college kids. Like, we'll be fine. You can't really tell them that they're not. Adriana's stopped by the FBI. She's talking about like she's gonna plan on getting married to Christopher, so that's like a wrench in their basic like armor, like what? Because it's in the next few episodes. Basically, if you get married, can you testify against your husband? Like that's basically the whole crux of it. Uh, um, Ralphie's with this girl, gets a phone call. The horse is sick. It needs to be paid. There's no vet bill, blah, blah. Like, we need the money. So, Ralphie gives the girl Tony Soprano's number to call. So the lady calls and be like, oh, there's a horse and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's sick and it's dying, Mr. Soprano. It needs money. We won't be able to pay it if it don't die. Like, shut the fuck up. I'll be there in a second. And Carmela goes, you bought a horse? We couldn't buy a fucking stop, but you got a horse. It's not a horse. Like, it's Ralphie's to calm down. Like, overall, Adriana gets high, and then Tony comes down and bonds with the fucking horse, and like after paying for it, and is like, oh, lovely, lovely, beautiful episode. I do love the part where like Janice was like, she just gets puts her hook into a new person, but like pulls out the like ZD from her husband or his wife and was like, I'm not ready to eat that yet. Like, this is just dramatic like fucking scenes. Overall, I did not love this episode. It's a fine episode, but it's not like great. We spent way too much time racing horses and fucking shit. I don't care.
It's more of a
What are your
setup
guys'
episode.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments I love. I love after the second race when Ralphie's got all his winnings. He's like, oh, I'll give Tony a piece. And he gives him some money, and Tony just sits there with his hand out. He gives him some more money, and Tony just sits there with his hand out. And he just gives Tony all his money. It's like, oh, thank you. And then the other one I got here is after they go into her office and break her chair. The next scene when they're in there, and she sits in the chair, just falls on her ass. Christopher just laughs at her. Red flag, bad guy.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up that money thing. I laughed really hard at that one. I gotta tell you, I definitely did a bit of hate watching here. Fucking Janice always just ruins everything. She wants to fucking try to ruin Bobby Backlund. What did Bobby Backlund ever do to you? And it's so stupid. Yeah, I mean, she definitely, even though, I mean, she's making a case for bad guy of the week, especially for trying to fucking bamboozle Bobby with fucking Carmela's lasagna. That she just said, hey, like, what about, like, what? And then Junior is like, oh, like, yeah, that's Carmela's lasagna. fucking asshole.
I mean, what's her rationale? I'm gonna get in with someone with a family who's not gonna beat the shit out of me like the last couple of guys I was with.
Whatever, she's gonna ruin somebody else's life.
Okay, you guys ready to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Everybody hurts sometimes. AJ, welcome to AJ's horny episode. Him and his friends talking about like the overall mobster life, and about, oh, you got all this money and all this stuff is close to this thing, blah blah. And so we'll get more of their friends and stuff. Tony, I also do love that Christopher's getting high. Like, he just shoots up and Tony meets and goes, I'll meet you at this place right now. Fuck, wake up, slap yourself. They end up meeting. And let me tell you, if this is where the Sopranos are going, it's going to go downhill fucking fast. I'll tell you right now, because it's like, over the time, I'm going to be passing off the reins to you. Like, I want you to take over the family. I hope I'm worthy. What do you mean? Why would you not be worthy? I don't know. Like, I hope I do a good enough job, you know? Like, so, Christopher, woo, leader of the Sopranos. AJ takes his family, like, runs through. They end up going to, like, the meat shop. He goes, oh, I think that's where Tony's my dad's office is. I'm not really sure where everything's located or anything. Fury ends up... Yeah, right. Fury shows up to Carmelo, and, like, Carmelo's, like, going to, like, bed near that, sir, and he goes, I'm thinking about Furio, like, he needs to date somebody. Like, I got this person. Like, Tony's like, leave fucking Furio alone. Like, let him just live. Oh my God, why can't I ever get his name? The Artie?
Artie, yeah.
Yeah, already.
The chef?
Yeah.
Already.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. You know how massive that is. He's sitting there with his hostess and her brother.
Cousin, brother, yeah.
Something.
Whoever.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a
I
lot.
told-
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, facts. I know I told you about somebody that offers money, like takes money, like you give money, like you like. Oh, really? You told him that? Great, fantastic. But he has this new adventure, like it's a business thing about this the next big vodka. Like, fucking all the other stuff won't matter to this one. He's like, he just need $50,000. Like, for $50,000, I need like 10 grand, like thing. 7,500. All right, whatever. They end up agreeing. They're talking to it. I thought, him and his wife like separated fully, but like I guess they are, but they're not.
separated, yeah. But I think she's still working at the restaurant.
They still work together.
Yeah.
Because all
work.
their money are tied up in the restaurant, so she can't really do much else.
Fair. Carmel and Tony's in bed, and I forgot to mention this part. He goes, yeah, you know that woman that worked at the dealership? No, I have no clue who you're talking about. Oh, well, she died.
She's dead.
Huh? She's dead. Yeah, committed suicide. Sad. So Tony kind of has like a stop reaction. He ends up stopping by the dealership. He ends up, as soon as, I was working with a girl with, oh yeah, well, she died. She died. Like, yeah, she ended up dying. Suicide. They end up like leaving a note, like, but turns out it was just like an ad or whatever. Artie visits Ralphie and goes, hey, I want to borrow some money. Well, I have to give you 2 points. You know what? I truly don't feel good about it. I'm gonna pass on this one. I don't like where it's going. What do you mean? I just don't like it. Tony meets with Jennifer and talks about her. He goes, it's a tragedy. It's a tragic loss. He gets up and hits the thing. Goes, you fucking bitch! Like, she died. You could have told me. Like, blah blah blah. You're scaring me, Tony. Like, what's wrong with her? She wanted me, and I told her nothing. I could have been with her. Like, I could have helped her, but I just didn't. And blah blah blah. Tony shows up drunk to Artie's house, Artie's apartment. I guess they are divorced because he's in this crap apartment.
Yeah.
And he basically sits there and goes, I heard you asked Ralphie for money. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to bother you, Tony. Like, who the fuck are we friends? Like, you're getting to offer me, like, I can help you. I'll only charge you 1.5 points. Like, you're fine. Like, just let's help you out. He's like, I think it's his next big vodka. So he ends up drinking it. Has another dream about fucking wild ass soprano dreams. My God. I swear, like, I don't, like, again, I don't, if this show ends in a fucking dream sequence, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. Like, absolutely kill myself.
It's all been a dream. He's been in Oz
yeah,
this
that's
whole
what I'm
time.
thinking. Like, yeah, he wakes up and, like, he just takes a deep breath and it's like a fucking dream. But he's, like, having this vision where, like, the chandelier's trapping into his drink because that's where she hung herself from. And, like, a dream with her and, like, fooling around. This is the one where he opens the medicine cabinet and you just see all the 90s bottles, like the medicine stuff that's just a blast of the past. Tony ends up meeting with his financial advisor about like setting up the health insurance, like trust and everything. Artie is struggling because he can't get the guy to call him back. Like, it should have been like that. He figures he's not getting anything back from him. Carmela comes home and fucking AJ and his girlfriend are like macking on the couch. Then they have a whole conversation, which I don't know how many siblings you guys have or like family is. I don't give an absolute fuck who you are. If we're like a year separated in age and you just think automatically that you can come pork in my house, my dorm, in my bed because you're horny. Fuck off, AJ.
We'll,
But
we'll do it on top of the
wild,
comforter, though.
yeah, disgusting. But he ends up like he's like, oh, I think we can do this, and she's like talking like Carmela. Don't even ask me how much I paid for that thing. It's $3,000, and like walks away, like drops the money tag and walks. But he's like, I can get car service to come into. Calls AJ, says, well, hey, can we go? They go into like the slummy part of the town, like it's pretty bad. And AJ's like, don't leave, like make sure you're here. Goes to Carmela, goes to Menno and be like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I need to use your dorm. And she's like, why? And like he looks over at her and goes, ew, no, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, well, it's just like we'll do it on top of the comforter. Like it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, it is. There's so much of the city and stuff you go in. It's more about than sex, probably. It's like, oh fuck, we'll just drive around. And then two fucking prima donnas talk about how bad everybody's got it and how good they have it, and like makes you really think like why we should like look down on people. It's just so fucking dumb. Like, oh, driving in car service and be like, yeah, because they don't have any choices, and like we don't give them enough resources. Like, shut the fuck. Artie meets with reception, the thing about I haven't heard from your brother. Like, I'm gonna need some money. Like, this is the situation. I don't remember what I know. Tony and Janice meet. I don't really remember what they discuss. Every time Janice is on, I'd rather just drink bleach. Because I have no desire.
I think they
do
talk
you
about
remember?
Bobby a little bit, and like he warns her like to be.
I'm kind of with you. I don't remember either. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he
it's a
tells her
wash.
to like, kind of leave
I don't
Bobby
think it
alone or
matters.
something. But
Yeah.
Yeah, leave Bobby alone. Classic. Stay out of my fucking family. Fucking Christopher's going on a bender with like getting high in weird spots. Artie ends up showing up to the French guy's house, and I thought, oh well, not gonna get the money back. Like, unfortunately, they didn't love the idea. Like, he's like, it's a business, it's a risk. You made a choice. Like, sorry, fuck off. Like, and they end up getting into a fight where Artie gets the shit kicked out of him. Basically, rips out his earring, beats him up. Was like, don't you ever fucking come back here again. Then AJ goes to his girlfriend's house, and she's like fucking Tony Soprano's fucking shopping at Walmart compared to this guy. He's got Picasso's on the wall. There's a cord. They're driving the parking lot, fucking everything. He brings that nerdy guy with him, and it's like overall, like, kid's like, look, it's this album. This got to be worth a fortune. Why he's just fucking touching it and stuff. Like, why the fuck? I thought it was Paul Dano. Looks like a fucking young Paul Dano. I was like, well, it's Paul Dano, and it was not Paul Dano. But I was just like, what the fuck is this? Tony's fucking this random girl, like, so we haven't seen any connection, but he's having fooling around. Probably a strip club lady. But of course, Artie calls and is like, I fucking love you. Please take care of the kids. Blah blah. What'd you fucking take? I took you. Blah blah. He gets in the car, so he has to go. AJ gets pissed because he's like, you didn't tell me that you were this rich, and like, I was talking about 3,000 like little statue on my desk, and this is what you got. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care. But of course, AJ's got pride.
Yeah, AJ needs to shut up.
Tony meets with Artie. He goes, I'm sorry, Tony, the money's gone. Like, I don't got anybody. They called the ambulance on him, got him to the hospital. I don't have anything. Like, he's like, it's all right. Like, we lost like 50,000. Like, wipe away my bill. And then Artie goes, you know what, Tony, you're pretty smart. Like, you thought this ahead of time. Like, oh, I have this bill and that's 50 grand, but now I can eat for free, whatever. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, you fucking idiot? You're suicidal. You're a disgrace.
Artie doesn't know when to shut his mouth.
He's like, this is the situation. This is what you're gonna tell people. You're gonna tell people that you're fucking that you got mugged. They ripped out your earring. There's pumped my stomach, blah blah. He's like, where's your keys and your thing? Steel H is along with like, you fucking don't tell anybody. I didn't give you shit. Like, shut the fuck up and you're good to go. Then there's an entire like sit down meeting with Furio and the whole thing, and like Carmela. Tony says this like nice thing about Carmela, about love, and like how they're all romantically connected. And then probably my favorite part of the thing: knock on the door of the French guy's house. Furio's outside the door. I'm like that $50,000 will be coming back real quick. If I know anything about Furio, you should have just paid him. Because yeah, that's what ended up happening. That is Everybody Hurts. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's an okay episode. I mean, all the stuff with Artie and like the world's most obvious scam that he just fell for, hook, line, and sinker. But it gives you that amazing moment, and with just Furio just showing up at the guy's door. And like you said, it's pretty much AJ just going all over the place trying to get laid, when he just should have just gone to her house, and they could have done it in like one of the 200 rooms that's probably in that place. But yeah, I mean, other than that, then the Tony finding out about the crazy lady hanging herself, and that kind of eats away. And then the therapist had the good bit about him is like, you help an Artie like this is because you feel guilty over her, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, but good episode.
Yeah, it's solid. Tony stuff with Gloria killing herself, that was fun. Yeah, I gotta tell you,
It's fun.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
How many times did you rewind it?
I mean, listen, I can't tell you how, because I feel like I would have been the AJ in this situation. I went to my brother and said, "Hey, I got this girl.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
ready to go. Like, I just need to use your bed, be all cool." Like,
I think it's
No,
different when it's two brothers versus a brother and a sister.
no, it wasn't. He would have been like, "No, you can't use my goddamn bed to have sex on." Like, what are you talking about?
I'll flip the mattress when I'm done.
Like, yeah, there's no, like, I don't know what AJ was thinking. Like, that was silly. And yeah, I guess this was before the whole email chain of like some Arabian prince saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, send me $10,000, and I'll send you 10 million whenever I get across the board." Like, I don't know why Art. Like, what was Art? I don't know what was Art.
I hope we see that like in a later season, already falling for one of those emails.
I mean-
Told me I need $10,000.
I mean, it's a great moment where like, oh yeah, this is why Artie's not in the family, because he would suck at this. Like, it's a great one-off for that.
So for this last one, I kind of did a new way of doing these. I want to see if I can how this one works, but I broke it apart like by segments, like
Okay.
of the overall instead of like recap. So we'll discuss off air if I like it better or not. But episode 4, we watching too much television. Basically, the main thing is the HUD scam. His advisor basically told him that this is a way to like do real estate and stuff like that. So Tony, Ralph, Carmela's cousin, orchestrate a fraud scheme to involve the U.S. government of the housing urban development. They basically buy a bunch of properties, don't ever get it, but they get money from the government to basically helps them with the score. It's influx of cash, but they don't really have to have anything. And then basically just, hey, these places that are terrible that are supposed to be helped, we're just going to fucking make them more worse, but we're going to collect money because of it. So basically always keep them under renovation, but nothing ever gets done or fixed or anything like that. Adriana, misguided strategy. Basically, Adriana is under pressure from the FBI, believes Mary Christopher is going to will protect her from getting testifying due to the spouse privilege.
She saw it on TV. It's got to be true.
Yeah. After proposing, she reveals the possible infertility to Christopher, which Christopher goes, "You sold me fucking broke goods? You lied to me? You fucking..." You know, nothing makes a woman want to drop her panties more than just telling her how big of a piece of shit she is. So,
I'll
don't
be honest.
worry.
I think it's a little. I think it's a little bit on Adriana. I'll just say that she should have known not to tell Christopher this. I don't know what she was thinking.
Correct.
Like, it's not going to go over well. I don't know what.
She's told two people, the FBI agent and all this stuff. Weird. But overall, however, wants to still pursue marriage. He feels bad going back on it. Ends up letting her know, like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't act like that way. It was surprising. But, however, Adriana learned that the lawyer and spousal privilege is limited and won't shield her from testifying about past crimes. The realization is highlights her entrapment of being loyal and legal jeopardy. So, basically, anything that's happened prior to the marriage, she can testify against. Anything after, she can. So, be fucked. It doesn't matter if he gets married or not. But she keeps telling everybody is like, oh, the best part, I don't have to testify. Her one friend's like, I don't know if that's fucking true. You might want to look that shit up because I watched an episode of Murder, She Wrote, and she ended up having to testify. I was like, yeah, fucking
and
Angela
why
Lance.
is she even telling people that? Like, doesn't that be like, why are you so worried about having to testify against him all of a sudden?
Yeah, like, motherfucker. FBI ain't even on his. I know you're like. Did somebody talk to you? That's not a burden. Like, just don't worry about it. But it's weird. Tony's attempt to inspire AJ. Tony takes his son AJ to visit the church built by his grandfather, admiring the still pride of the work ethic. He also shows AJ the properties involved in the HUD scheme, presenting what the business opportunities will lie. However, AJ remains indifferent, focused on trivial reflection, doesn't really care. Tony's frustration with lack of ambitions. While they're outside the HUD property, a guy comes up and puts a gun on him. He's like, you want to get the fuck out of here? And he's like, that son is a crack whore. AJ's like, that's a crack whore. What the fuck you say? Get out of my block. Throws a bottle at him. Sits down with Jennifer later and be like, hey, I controlled my anger. Guy threw a bottle at my head, and I didn't do anything.
I just drove away.
And then Jennifer goes, well, I would like you to hold with me the same respect you do the crack whores. Just kills me. Just like, I would like that. Paulie returns. Paulie gets out of prison. Paulie is released from prison. Welcome back to the party at the Bada Bing. Despite the celebration, Paulie feels slighted by Tony by the lack of communication while he was in there. He confides in Johnny Sachs, hinting that the growing disdain and the shift of loyalty is setting up for future conflicts overall, where Tony never visited him while he was in jail, never had a phone call, blah, blah. Johnny Sachs kind of says, well, he's kind of the boss, so going down to the prison is probably not the greatest idea for him. Kind of sets his mind at ease, but overall, the cracks in this foundation are quite large. They're happening all over the place. We talked about that. Tony's jealousy and violence. So he held his cool, but
the politician guy,
yeah, Zellman informs Tony that he is dating Arena, Tony's former mistress. Although Tony's like, I don't really fucking care, not a big fucking deal. Fine. He ends up going over to the house and sees her and is like, you doing good? She's like, yeah, good. I'm learning English, blah, blah, blah. You want me to make you some egg salad? Woo, party on. Tony's like, whatever, no big deal. Tony later on gets pretty drunk, ends up driving over to the house and was like, oh, you look good, kid. He walks to the house, goes upstairs, takes off his belt and proceeds to whoop Zellman's ass with the belt. Just pissed off is like, all the girls in fucking New Jersey, and you had to pick her. Like, you fucking idiot. So even though he said he was fine with it, turns out he wasn't really fine with it.
I mean, I thought for a second he was going to walk up there and just sleep with her in front of him. So
yeah,
that might have been better.
Anything was possible. I'm not sure where it was going to go. But yeah, it's just like he was saying it was fine, but it turns out it definitely wasn't okay in his eyes. Furio and Carmela kind of have a situation where they're where he won't go inside the house anymore. Like he's like, I'll just stay outside. Like I think like he knows there's.
Yeah, because they show him
he
like
has
looking at the
feelings for her.
pictures. Yeah.
He was like gonna give her pictures and stuff like that. So it's like he overall like concerned about like I think he knows he can't really go too far into the situation, so he like kind of backs himself off. Which is interesting that they are really both about to cross that fucking line. I don't know. Did I miss anything else massive from this episode? I don't think so.
Did you talk about they had like the shootout inside like the housing to get like all the people out of there or whatever?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they ended up shooting out inside the house to basically get rid of everybody. So genius on their self. And Zellman's kind of being like the middleman between the HUD stuff and like I don't know how he's gonna feel after he got his ass whooped, but
because it ends up working, they make a whole lot of money, and they tell the one guy, "Hey, we'll do it some more."
Yeah. But overall, that was a fine episode.
Yeah, it's solid. I think all these were like solid episodes. I don't think.
There was nothing like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
The best episode I think of the thing was the Johnny Sacks of the first with the wing.
Yeah, the first
he
one.
just like they were like because that mobster like goofy thing is like we should fucking kill the guy. Like he called your wife fat, but your wife is fat. Like what are you talking? Like why are you upset? And then all of a sudden like to look at him is like. Well, back in my day, we would have respect. And then she sneaks down and eats candy bars. And is like, you know what, Ralphie? I apologize. My wife is fat. I didn't realize she's fine.
No.
Yeah, but overall, it's fine.
Okay. So who are we thinking for bad guy this week? I think there's a few good nominees. Because I know we got Christopher did some bad guy shit. Janice did some bad guy shit. Shane did some bad guy shit. But yeah, I think Antoine is probably.
Antoine kills a woman by overdosing her and then kills a child.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that. And I would say he normally wouldn't fall into the bad guy, but he's been in multiple episodes. At this point,
he's an antagonist for the season. So yeah.
He's the absolute player.
I would probably still like, even though part of me really wants the whole lasagna thing really and coffee like, really bugs me with Janice.
Yeah,
part of me really wants to say Janice. But
Janice goes second.
Yeah,
I think I'll honestly I think I'll go with Shane just because I feel like the villain side of it, and also like on some end all the Antoine stuff
is because of Shane.
Kind of his fault too. So
yeah.
Like, it's like I'm willing to stick with Shane on that one.
So the only reason Antoine is a killer is because Shane pushed him to that point. Is that what you're saying?
Probably the only reason he killed those two people was because of Shane.
Yeah. Fair. We'll be back next week. 4 of the Shield, 3 from the Sopranos, 3 from Mad Men, while we get closer to the end of season 4. And maybe next week we'll tease what we're doing in season 2. So, check us out next time. Again, if you haven't watched, this is way in the future, but we did do Last of Us live. All those episodes are out there. Go watch those, check those out. And we will catch you on the next one.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up there. On the
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.